Discord. Opened that accidentally. YouTube, man, what is going on? It is your boy Sean Combo, and you are tuned into another video. Today we're going to be doing a simple little project. I pull this over to the left side, we can get Visual Studio on the right, and you can see number 14 here. The owner of Harry's Car Sales pays each salesperson a commission based on his or her quarterly sales. The sales ranges and corresponding commission rates are shown below. That's here. Program should display error message if the sales amount is less than 0. So basically, we're just going to be showing commission amounts. So if the quarterly sales are from 0 to 20,000, we're going to multiply the sales by 5%, and that'll be the commission that the employee will get. If it's 2,000 or 20,000 and above to 50,000, multiply the sales over 20,000 by 7 and then add 1,000 to the result. Alright, so this is a little trickier than the ones we have been doing, but I think we'll be fine. Let's try it. You're going to be with me here for start to finish. This is my first time reading that, so I don't really know my thought process for it yet, but chapter 6-14. That's in chapter 6. All right, cool. Let's pull this to the side again. I'm going to delete all this. I don't really like it. I feel like it clutters up the space, but hashtag include IO stream using namespace std : main. Alright, so it's basically just our header for the most part. I go ahead and throw in a return at the bottom just so I don't forget it. And then save. This green bar just indicates everything's been saved up to this point. If I space, these are new spaces, new lines that have not been saved. So let's see, how are we going to do this? First, I like to declare the variables. So quarterly sales, I believe, will be our first variable. Double, since we're dealing with money. Quarterly sales equals 0.0. Commission rate, I'll do double as well. And that'll basically act as the commission rate. That's what the employees are going to be getting paid. And then the commission will be, I guess, whatever we set it to be with these specific arithmetic values. That one's going to be the sales times 5%, and then anything over 20 is going to be 7%, and then 1,000. Okay. We may or may not need this one. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's there in case we do. Here, output, input, and we're basically just going to ask the user to enter the quarterly sales. Count. Hello. Please enter your quarterly sales. And then CN. The arrow is facing the opposite way. We're going to do quarterly sales. Right there, I started typing. I put about QUA, and then I pressed tab. And since this is the only variable that I have with a Q in it, it's safe to say that it's going to automatically recognize that that's the one that I want. I press tab to confirm it, and it automatically puts it there. Something that you'll get very used to using. So from this point, we're going to get into the process and start breaking this down. So the program should display an error message if the sales amount is less than 0. What I'm seeing is I want to use an if statement, because if I were to use a switch, you would need codes for these, which I guess we can still make that work. It's just we would have to do more to make sure that, anybody would know, hey, code 1 means that it's 0 to 20,000, or code 2 is 20,000 to 50,000. So I think it'd be easier to just use the if statements. So we'll go through with that. Starting if quarterly sales are 0, so we're going to do greater than or equal to 0, and we're going to put 2 and signs so that we can get the rest of that up to 20,000. So, and quarterly sales are less than or equal to 20,000. If that's the case, we're going to multiply the sales by 5%. So quarterly sales, once again, times 0.5 or 0.05. And what we're going to do with this, so that everything syncs up in the end, I want to say I'm going to make this the commission rate. So right there, it basically just says, hey, if the quarterly sales are greater or equal to 0, or less than or equal to 20,000, the commission rate will be the quarterly sales times 0.05. So 5% will be the commission rate. And then here, else if, open your parentheses, we're going to do that same thing with the quarterly sales, but we're going to make it for 20,001 to 50,000. Are less than, or yeah, that's greater than or equal to 20,001, and quarterly sales are less than or equal to 50,000. Open up the brackets, multiply the sales over 20,000 by 7%. So I think that's just a weird wording that they used right here, because I don't feel like it's entirely needed, but multiply by 7,000 and then add 1,000 to the result. So the quarterly sales, or the commission, will be quarterly sales times 0.07. So you get a little bonus if you have your quarterly sales above 20,001. And then you also add 1,000 to the mix, just as an extra incentive. And I want to say that should work. We can test it. I don't have anything set up at the bottom. So here, I guess, let's do output, and we're going to give information back to the computer to spit out to us. So right here, we want to see what the commission is. Commission rate, what the commission rate is. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to run it, and it should ask us what's the quarterly sales. And right now we only have the first two worked up. So let's try 10,000. 10,000, it'll be 5% of that. It shows us 500. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to try the 20,000 to 50,000 one. So we'll do 20,000, we'll do 25,000, which is 2750. Okay, so it's working so far. Same thing here. We're just going to mimic this entire thing. So I'm actually going to copy and paste this else if, copy, paste, and then we're going to swap these values from 20,000 to 50,000 or more. So when we do that, we don't need that and at the end. All we need is, hey, is it greater than or equal to 50,001? And if it is, we're going to multiply the sales by 10% instead of 7. So 0.01, and we're going to add 3,100. All right. So this gets us everything we need for our actual processing, but now at the end, we want to include our final piece that'll say our error message if nothing works. Do I know how to do that right now? Not really. I'm iffy on the syntax, but we're going to figure it out. Else, count invalid entry. I think that should work. I'm not 100% sure. So let's check. If it doesn't, we'll figure this out. Let's do -10. Invalid entry, and there's a 0. Why is there a 0? Let's see. Return 0. I think that might be why that's there. Let's see. This is the beauty of just being able to test everything, because you can see it happen right in front of you. No, I'm not sure. We're still getting a 0. There's not a 0 here. And I already have that commented out. The commission rate, this is why it's showing us this. So, decisions. I'm trying to figure what we can do to get the 0 to not appear when we have an invalid entry. And I'm assuming we might be able to just do this, but that's going to be repeated. And that's something you don't want to do as a programmer. You don't want to have to repeat yourself. But for me, mentally right now, that's the only thing that makes sense. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but because I don't know how to say, hey, if this is an invalid entry, don't do this, you know? So I guess we can do this. Let's copy this. And this is bad programming, but it's going to make the program work for now. Hopefully. I hope I didn't just break it. Quarterly sales, -10. Invalid entry, the 0 is gone. I might be okay with that for now, until I figure out how to fix this later on down the road. But I mean, I think that pretty much sums up our issue here, or whatever the question was asking. I want to say we got it all done. We have commission that was not used. Correct. So we can get rid of this so we don't have a wasted variable. All right. Yeah, I think that's it, boys. Let's run it one more time. Hello, please enter your quarterly sales. Let's do 50,000. And you get 4,500 as your bonus. Let's do 1,000. 50 bucks as your bonus. All right, cool. This works. And we are done for this question. I figured that'd take a little longer.